I got a bone to pick with you guys. I said we were going to a Mexican restaurant for lunch for Father's Day. I read out 80% of the menu. When I said chilaquiles, chat exploded. It's got to be the chilaquiles. No. You don't want the enchilada, bro. You got to get the chilaquiles. Chilaquiles, Pog. You don't see that at every restaurant. Okay, no problem. I said to myself, Chad knows best. They're always talking about Mexican food. Let me give it a try. So, appetizer, I got the chips and guac. Imagine my surprise when the main chilaquiles shows up, and that shit is chips in salsa. You almost made me give my wife the ick, bro. I had chips for appetizer and chips for entree. You know how sad that is? I'm like 5 years old, man. When the entree came out and it was just chips again, I was like, I can't let Kate see this, man. Were they good? Yeah, they were fucking good. But like honestly, it would have been better maybe if I just got like carne asada or something like that. I didn't need that many chips. There's too many chips, man. Next time get the tacos al pastor. There might not be a next time, man. There might not be a next time. Because we got a quesadilla for my child, and she said, I don't like it because there's chicken on it. So then we found like part of the quesadilla that was just cheese. And then she said, I don't like it because it's just like a grilled cheese. And I was like, what the fuck, man? You can't win. You can't have shit with these cats. All she wants is pasta, man. But I'm trying to take her to restaurants where they don't necessarily have like spaghetti on the menu 100% of the time, and she's not having it. Pasta daughter or chip son. I'd have to go pasta daughter because at least there's pasta and tomato sauce is pretty good for you. You're getting some decent vegetable content. You can mess around with the pasta a little bit. You can hide vegetables in it pretty easily. There's something in there. You see Rory McIlroy blow the U.S. Open? No, but good for them. In Pride Month, good for them. It's crazy to me it's crazy in like an aspirational way that golf courses are open like Monday to Friday and the weekend. Like on the weekend, that makes perfect sense to me. Most people are not working. But like the golf course is open like Tuesday at 8 a.m. That's fucking crazy, man. What do you mean by that? Well, I mean, like most people are working, man. It just goes to show you how much like retirees are subsidizing the golf industry, bro. What are you doing Tuesdays 8 a.m.? Hopefully I'd like to be about an hour and 15 minutes into my Peloton ride. Depends on when I wake up, which usually depends on when my daughter goes to sleep, though. Pretty good ride today, 90-minute scenic Santiago Chile ride. I know you're vibing with that, DL guy. I know you're vibing with that. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? You're from Brazil. They're like close. They're close. They're the whole continent apart, east-west. Yeah, okay, but let's be honest. It's not the widest continent, is it? South America, people? It's not, is it? It's not the widest continent. Asia, much wider. Africa, I must assume, is wider. North America, easily wider. Brazil is gigantic, bro. People from the 5th largest country by area in the world be like, my country's huge. Yeah, okay. Try being number 2. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I'd love to be the one who disappoints you when I don't fall down. Yeah, but if you take out all the lakes, Canada, fuck you, man. If you take out all the lakes, Minnesota wouldn't even exist. No Bob Dylan, no Prince, no fucking, I think the guy from My Pillow maybe is from there, I'm not sure. The 3 most famous Minnesotans, Paul Bunyan maybe, I don't know. He is? Okay, just checking. More people live in California than Canada? Yeah, and more people live in Bangladesh than California. What's your point? 7 is a bigger number than 4. 4 is a bigger number than -12. Who gives a shit? Welcome to society. Is that even true? Is it true that Bangladesh has more people than California? Okay, let's check on that for a second. Bangladesh population, 171.2 million. California population, 39. Listen, keep it up, little bro. You're almost there. Only off by about 100 milli or so. They wish they were from LA. That might be true, but we don't need to get into that. Complaining about housing prices? What are you talking about? That's the thing. The number one thing people say about Vancouver as a knock is like that it's expensive. And you're like, yeah, it's because people want to live here, man. It's I mean, there's a lot of issues. Don't get me wrong. With supply and demand, partly there's a lot of demand here for some reason. DL Guiga doesn't get it. He thinks the seawall is underutilized and bereft of mixed-use developments. It's not a demand problem. Aren't you an economist? I think that listen. I even apologize for saying it because I think if you work in finance, being called an economist is like when someone calls me like an influencer instead of a content creator. I think I've accidentally, yes, I've mislabeled your profession. I'd like to apologize for that. You must work in finance because if you were an economist, you probably wouldn't get 6 months of paternity leave. And we love that for you, man. We love that for you. We're just razzing. How's the Peloton today? Pretty good, pretty good. Zach, thank you for the gifted subscriptions, by the way. I'm not trying to like blow you out or anything. You have to take a stand at some point, okay? So I don't know if it was Friday or Saturday. I did a 90-minute ride. Zach shows up 13 minutes in and high fives me every 90 seconds till the end. So he gives me a high five, I give him a high five back. He gives me a high five, I give him a high five back. One thing you need to know, I'm a millennial. You know, I was on Facebook in '06. So I'm never losing a poke war, okay? If you poke me, I'm poking you back. That's how it goes. I will always get the last poke. So at the end of the ride, because I finished it 13 minutes before he did, because he joined later than like after I started, I like high-fived him back and then just closed, like power cycled the fucking bike. So I get the last word there, okay? So same situation today. Zach shows up on the ride, I don't know, 13 minutes in or something like that, sends me a high five, I send him a high five. That's like me saying, welcome to the ride, I see you, best of luck to you. 74 minutes left in the ride, he sent me a high five. I said, no, we're not doing that. For 74 minutes, I just pedaled and minded my own business. And then at the end of the ride, I sent another high five to say, best of luck on the rest of the ride. There's a wave when you get there, and there's a wave when you leave now, okay? Hey, Lobo Senior, thanks for the gifted subscriptions. Thank you. And Sully, you got like a little bit of collateral damage there because you joined and I high-fived you and then you high-fived me again like 15 minutes later and I said, no, because then if I high-five you, I got to high-five Zach. And if I high-five Zach, then I'm never going to be able to focus on the wattage. So you kind of got a little bit of the blowback there. But I just had to protect like my own self-interest there, you know? Sounds exhausting. Yeah, I guess if you think like tapping a button on a screen is like more exhausting than putting out 204 watts with your legs for 90 minutes. It's honestly kind of a nice break mentally sometimes to just send a high five so that you get like 3 seconds of not feeling like you're engaging in physical exertion. Are we making fun of introverts now? I think we should. And I say that as an introvert myself. I think going to Japan and Korea like permanently broke my brain though. So I was like a little shy sometimes. I'd be like, oh, like my wife would be like, oh, they didn't bring the ketchup for my fries. And I got to like fucking psych myself up. Like, oh, I'm gonna say excuse me when the waitress walks by and go, can we get some ketchup for my wife's fries? Then I was in Japan and Korea and I couldn't do shit because I like basically don't speak the language. And then when I got back to Canada, I was like, what the fuck you mean I'm shy to speak the only language I know, you dumb motherfucker? I'll just be making conversation now. I think I've accidentally like extroverted myself. And the fucked up thing is I also feel like introverts are like, I don't want to engage in small talk. Then they go to Japan and they're like, hey, sign me up for the maid cafe. The most fucking nightmarish extrovert social interaction you could ever ask for in your entire life. Sugoi, you ordered a strawberry milkshake. Strawberry milkshake, strawberry milkshake. Let's bring the king a strawberry milkshake. Like, you're cooked, man. You gotta... Yes, thank you. That is my hell. And I've done it twice, I think. The first time I just got, I think I got a melon soda, and it was just awkward. The second time, there were 3 people total in the maid cafe, or like me, Kate, and one more table. And the other table did the like $200 upcharge to get all the maids to do like a pop idol performance on the little stage in the middle of the restaurant. while we crowded the stage and had like coordinated glowing light wands and shit. And I was like, I'm gonna fucking die. This is too much, man. I'm not a themed cafe guy. I don't know. I think like I've become a caricature of myself. I really do see myself as some kind of like fucking clandestine Anthony Bourdain. Like if I go into a restaurant and it doesn't have like one 58-year-old alcoholic who's hammered at 1 p.m. on a weekday, I'm like, this place has no real soul. This isn't a real place. This is a business. This isn't a restaurant. This isn't a community gathering place. You don't even have like a real alcoholic in here. The owner of the restaurant isn't sitting at a table, you know, drinking like 2 Peronis an hour for the entire 12 hours the restaurant's open, just watching soccer on a little TV that's 100 feet away, like wall mounted in the corner. Is this even a real restaurant? Are you even in it for like the love of the game or what? Exactly, man. Yeah, there's not like a 3-year-old kid coming out of the kitchen every 10 minutes and going like, Mommy, look what I did. There's fucking 3 teenagers doing homework at a table and occasionally refilling your water. 71 million, week 3, 27% down. So it's got some buzz, maybe even some Oscar buzz, starring James Corden. Never mind. It's an animated film, that I don't know, so we'll come back to it. Paramount Pictures, some Oscar buzz. Oh, Paramount Pictures opens to 11 million, starring Natalie Portman from 2018. It's a science fiction horror movie. This is Annihilation. Okay. This guy was going to put Lucy in the Sky. That's Annihilation. We take those. Rose Byrne. Listen. Blank's feud with Mr. It's Peter Rabbit, bro! It's Peter Rabbit. That shit is not a comedy, dude. I'm saved because I literally just read Peter Rabbit to my daughter like 2 days ago or something. It doesn't say comedy. Well, yeah, but it stars James Corden, the funniest person on the planet. What's the story? Peter's dad, prior to the events of Peter Rabbit, got caught by Mr. McGregor and baked into a fucking pie and eaten by Mr. McGregor and his bitch wife. So the story starts, the mom is like, hey, Peter, whatever you do, like, I'm going to work. Don't go to Mr. McGregor's garden. Motherfucker straight up, Mr. McGregor's garden. Tries to steal some carrots. Mr. McGregor's like, oi, what's this then? Spends like the next 85% of the novel like being pursued by basically the xenomorph. And then at the end, he manages to scoot under the fucking garden gate and get away from Mr. McGregor, who's, I think, just bored at that point. But the test for old man McGregor is real. I mean, listen, I understand. He's a farmer, bro. Like when the pest is eating your carrots and shit like that, it's probably annoying, maybe even detrimental to your bottom line. But at the same time, like, it's Peter Rabbit, bro. He has consciousness. You can't just be like smashing him with a fucking mallet and shit. Like, he's not like some kind of beetle or something, or like a blight. Like, he's a fucking beloved character, man. He wears fucking clothes. Thank you, yes. Even at the end of the book, Peter Rabbit's mom is like, why the fuck is my kid, like, he doesn't have his coat and his shoes anymore? That's like the 7th pair of shoes that he's lost this year. Discount Fantastic Mr. Fox. I'm a local business Andy. This weekend I went to a used bookstore. I bought my daughter some Roald Dahl books, thinking, you know, she's getting a little bit older as far as toddlers go. Like, I could read her some chapter books, like, progressively now, and she can have, like, a story that progresses over time as kind of like an antidote to melting her brain watching 4-minute videos on YouTube. So last night, I was like, we're going to read, like, George's Marvelous Medicine or something like that. She opens up the book, and the first thing she sees is, like, those Roald Dahl-ass drawings of, like, basically like a grapefruit with a huge fucking nose and like the stringiest hair of all time and like teeth sticking out of her skull. And she's like, Daddy, this book is scary. And I'm like, it's not scary. And then I started looking at the other pictures. I was like, you're right. This shit is fucking scary. I can't remember what we read. We read some shit like Dewey Bob or something. It's about a raccoon who loves collecting buttons. We got to save that one for a couple of years. Okay, Ready Player One to JFK. All right, I mean, this is a gimme, bro. Ready Player One, Simon Pegg, How to Lose Friends in Run Fat Boy Run, Hank Azaria, Heat. And so now we're at Heat, in case you haven't recognized that so far. From Heat, we're going to go Val Kilmer. That's going to take us to MacGruber, Ryan Philippe, Cruel Intentions, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Scooby-Doo 2, Monster Unleashed, Linda Cardellini, Reese Witherspoon, Election, Matthew Broderick, Tower Heist, Ben Stiller. I say Ben Stiller, The Watch, Vince Vaughn, Maid, Jon Favreau, Chef, Scarlett Johansson, The Avengers Infinity War, Samuel L. Jackson, Jurassic Park, Wayne Knight, JFK. Okay. Simon Pegg, Run, Fat Boy, Run. Hank Azaria, Heat. Just give me a second here. Val Kilmer, MacGruber, Ryan Philippe, Cruel Intentions, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed. We're going to go Linda Cardellini. Follow that to Legally Blonde. Takes you to Reese Witherspoon, of course, who then was in Election with Matthew Broderick, who's in Tower Heist, with Ben Stiller, who's in The Watch, with Vince Vaughn, who's in Maid, with Jon Favreau, who's in the Avengers. Okay, Avengers Endgame, we got to do a little pivot here. With I was going to go to Chef there. That's my mistake. Samuel L. Jackson, who was in Jurassic Park, with Wayne Knight, who was in JFK. We run these streets. I think that, listen, this is not the shortest possible in time or in nodes, but it's got to be the most nodes done in the shortest amount of time. Ben Mendelsohn to The Dark Knight Rises to Gary Oldman. Sorry, I don't watch garbage movies. Time is never time at all. That's so true. I believe that's the Smashing Pumpkins. Took me a second to place it. I am the Smashing Pumpkin. This is like some fucking Ninja Gaiden shit. This is some angry video game nerd shit. Without a doubt, man. Oh, man. I was there. I was there when Harada put out the first Tekken game. I said, don't let them stand up. You'll never make a dime. This is fucked, man. Amber Heard has been in 3 movies. No, okay. She's in Pineapple Express as Seth Rogen's girlfriend. And then, obviously, she's in Aquaman. I guess she's probably, in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, right? Yeah? Okay. I know all 3 of her movies, man.
Bank. A noun meaning a mound.
A mound? I guess so. A mound of money.
Restive. A adjective meaning stubbornly resisting.
Okay. Kind of not an easy word.
Soppiness. A adjective meaning sentimental, mawkish.
Come on, man. Soppiness? Jigsaw be like, have you been looking at my phone?
Cell, a noun meaning a small religious house dependent on a monastery or convent. Cell derives.
It must be, right?
Factoid. A noun meaning an.
Decroded ass easy words.
Municipal. A adjective meaning of. Braid. A verb meaning.
What? BRAYED, like a donkey? Like a donkey braid? Are you kidding me?
Erroneous.
Erroneous.
An adjective meaning.
Factoid.
Insignia. A noun meaning a badge.
A noun meaning a flat screen television.
Semicolon. A noun meaning a
I
punctual.
want something else to get me through this.
Harmattan. A noun meaning a dust-laden wind on the Atlantic coast of Africa in some seasons. The word originates or is related to
French?
the TWI language term haramata. Harmattan. A noun meaning a dust-laden wind on the Atlantic coast of Africa in some seasons.
Atlantic
The word
coast.
originates or is related to the TWI.
Armadan.
Sylph. A noun meaning an elemental being in the
Oh, Pokemon fucked me, bro. It must be with a Y, right?
kente. A noun meaning colorfully patterned cloth traditionally woven by hand and contaminated. Adjective meaning
Yes!
soiled, stained.
Yes!
Dragoons. A verb meaning to
Dragoons.
subject.
Most annoying person you know would be like, that's not even a hard word. Okay, that was a dirty one today. They put a little Tetris in my spell check. Harmattan, we missed the T. Sylph is just embarrassing. Kente, you got me. The building blocks of DNA molecules are linked pairs of chemicals called what pairs? Base pairs. If you're raising 6 to the third power, 3 is the exponent, and 6 is the nucleotide. 3 is the exponent, and 6 is the number, the operator. No, that doesn't make sense. 6 is the base. See, that's bullshit, dude! They fucked me! I couldn't even look at chat because I was sure people were going to say, bio degree, doesn't even know high school biology. And then all of a sudden, I was right the whole time. Base pairs. Bro, on Jeopardy's the yardstick. If they said what kind of pairs, and I said what are base pairs, they wouldn't have even had to go to the judges. They would have given that to me for sure. Oh, well. Dispute resolution. Your submission for base pairs was accepted. Your score was updated accordingly. Okay, let's apologize. Let's apologize to this website with words. Because last week they said there was a question about nucleotide bases. I wrote base pairs and the answer was base. I'm happy to see. I talked to the teacher. They gave me my half mark. Okay, all's forgiven. Moguls, aerials, and ski cross are events in the Olympic discipline called alpine skiing. Let's just alpine. Let's not invite that evil. Hence the name. Which Olympic wrestling style has more permissive rules that allow you to grab your opponent's legs? Freestyle skiing. There we go. I was stupid. It's not alpine pairs. The party of principle is a slogan used by what American political party? The Whig. The porcupine is an official symbol of what party that had a U.S. representative for a few months in 2020? The Tea Party. Minimum government, maximum freedom. Okay, it's libertarian. Who is the libertarian representative? Oh, okay. It's not possible. I'm going to do this just to keep myself honest, but I can't do Relatle today. Because I don't know who TV Girl or Little Xan are. As soon as we find ourselves dealing with artists like Salvia Pauth, I'm in trouble. You got this? You don't understand. It's like trying to draw a route on a map from a place where you don't know to a place that you don't know. It's like, how would I even know how to get there, man? Let Twitch play? You can play. You go to the website, relatle.io. You can play. For now, though, I'm going to play. Give me some Disorderly. Songs starting with the latest. Okay, this is easy enough. First one is going to be, the oldest is It Wasn't Me. Then it's Hot in Here. Then it's Candy Shop. Then it's, the only thing I'm concerned about is Single Ladies versus Low. And I think it's like that. That's driving me insane. Maybe Candy Shop is off of Bulletproof. It's not off of Get Rich or Die Trying. Whatever, we'll take those. Hey Ya is the 90s. Were you born in the 2010s? It's obviously not the 90s. Outkast made Stankonia in 2001 when they were still together. This is pre-Outkast sabbatical, man. Did bro say Stankonia? What's it like being 17 years old in the 2020s? It honestly seems like annoying, so I'm not trying to like pile on or whatever. Yeah, the album's called Stankonia. It's one of the best albums of the 2000s. It's got Miss Jackson, Bombs Over Baghdad, I Like the Way You Move. No, sorry, that's off the Love Below or Speaker Box. It's got So Fresh and So Clean. Stankonia came out in the 90s. Sorry, not possible, because Bombs Over Baghdad won Pitchfork's best song of the 2000s. Decade, not millennium. Sorry, I'm just embarrassed for you that you seem so confident in something that you're actually ignorant of. It was recorded in 1999. Who gives a fuck, man? That means you're wrong. So I don't care whether this shit was recorded. Fucking Smiley Smile was probably recorded in like 1961. Shit didn't actually see a release until like 2004, bro. I don't have access to Brian Wilson's masters, much less Andre 3000 and Big Boys. I'm not in the lab with them. I'm not Rick Rubin. Hey Ya is on the Love Below, though. Yeah, we all know that, because that shit did not come out in the 90s, bro. You don't have to. You actually do have to, in order to understand that you didn't fall out of a coconut tree. They're too freaky for me. They had like 7 #1 hits, man. What are you talking about? Middle-aged aunts were vibing out to Rosa Parks, but in 2024, you're too sensitive for that shit? Why? Because it's got like a little southern breakdown where they do the hand claps in the middle and they're playing the mouth harp? Come on. Grow a pair. Rosa Parks sued them for that song. Listen, I can do this shit all day. I'm just letting you know. This is not like a normal Zillennial conversation where I say something and then you respond with an unrelated fact and then I go, wow, thank you for telling me. It's not, we're trying to connect on like a human-to-human level, not just spit Wikipedia at each other. We're not going fact for fact, okay? We're going soul for soul here. I got more, though. I got u.wikipedia.org/ You know how I know someone's mentally cooked? When they link something on Twitter. Like, they link Wikipedia on Twitter, and then when you click the link, it's the mobile version of Wikipedia. Brother, if you're going to tweet that shit out to 50,000 followers, can you at least do the web version of Twitter so when I click the link on my PC, like a true millennial, it doesn't open up in like a little strip in the center of the screen, like the bacon at Epix at midnight? 1969, 138 million views. Yeah, this sounds so familiar. Hey, is this satisfaction? They can't get any? No? Okay. This is, never mind. The bass is taking me down a different path. I'm gonna know it, but I need more. It sounds like Kids in America. Or Our Lips Are Sealed by the Go-Go's. Is Magic Carpet Ride by Steppenwolf or something? Or Born to Be Wild? Born to Be Wild single version, okay. Is this Honky Tonk Woman by the Rolling Stones? Is this CCR? Creedence? Yeah, no, this is... Oh, it's so iconic, man. 1 second. It's so, like, it's on the tip of my brain. Yeah, it's Fortunate Son. Okay, motherfucker. Oh, man. Maybe I should get into CCR. I don't know. I know, like, I know 7 or 8 CCR songs, but I've never really gotten into CCR. Always kind of considered them like Lynyrd Skynyrd adjacent, but maybe I'm being glib. What the hell are people playing in the modern era, bro? Let me just go peruse Twitch TV here. Lethal Company. Okay, I guess my invite was lost in the mail. Slice and Dice with Bear. Holy. Dan is playing in Notria, the last song. Why are you laughing? Why are you trying to suppress your guffaw speed? I'm laughing because I remember Dan telling us when he was playing Elden Ring that like he signed the sponsored deal for the Italian Souls game, but then it had like streams that were right as the Elden Ring DLC was coming out, and he was like, guys, we need to figure out what we're going to do about this. I've been playing Lingo. Hey, Handsome Pansome, thanks for the gifted subscriptions. Thank you. You're the second person to recommend Lingo. And I always just think of Chuck Woolery's game show. It's $12.99. A first-person word puzzle game with a large abstract world to explore. Are we talking about the same game? Came out in 2021? Why is it getting marinated now? Did Jerma play it? Shut up. I was just asking questions. Hey, JT Chalm, thanks for the gifted subscriptions as well. Thank you. Thank you. It's too hard for you? I mean, I'm just being honest. I'm looking at it, and one of the first things that I see as a bullet point in the trailer is texture packs. And I'm like, for me, that's basically like a dog whistle that millennials should not play the game. Texture pack is a Zoomer code word to awaken the Zoomer sleeper agents. For millennials, they might as well say you can rebind your keys before you even play the game. That's what like 38-year-old PC gamers do. They load up the game. They're like, I've been waiting for this game for months. I'm so excited. Settings, keyboard, crouch on C. Ew, crouch on control. Reload is on middle mouse. I don't really like that. I'm going to move that to tilde. Like, you haven't even played the shit yet, man. You don't know if there's a perfectly germane reason for it. FOV to 120. Then motherfuckers be like, why am I motion sick? Once a porn a time too. It's positive reviews. Let's go take a look at this for a second. I'm not going to show you the trailer. Once a Porn a Time 2 is an adventure-style visual novel with high-quality animations, oriental princesses. Can you say that? Romances and other strange creatures that you have to bang. You have no choice, man. You got to save the realm. This got everything, man. This includes intercourse, sexual language, foot job, masturbation, oral sex, hand job, BDSM, bondage. I'm just getting started, man. Voyeurism, anal sex, sex toys, striptease, kissing, humiliation, rough sex, dirty talk, gangbang, bukkake, orgy, sexual roles, cunnilingus. That's kind of a step too far, I'd say. Cum shot, double penetration, spanking, nipple stimulation, and orgasm. Spoilers, bro. I just gotta know, man, because I'm looking at a Steam review, 0.1 hours on record, but the review is like 9 paragraphs long. Like, when people review a Steam porn game and it's like one word and it's like, yay, I'm like, okay, I get it, you're like half cooked. But when you're reviewing the shit like Roger Ebert, I don't know, maybe I respect it. Then right below it, Armored Suit Sol Ganti. And I was looking at it, and I was like, oh, this could be cool. A strategy RPG. And then why do all the NPCs have, like, triple J cup breasts? What's going on here? But this one is, like, not honest. This one's not saying it's a pornographic game. But, like, can I just copy the screenshot into the Discord? There's no way, man. Like, it's... Hang on, gameplay? A top-down combat-based game where you must dodge enemy fire. Okay, sure. Between battles, explore the city around the base to see what's changed, comma, especially with your wife. Oh, man. Then the review. Mature themes: NTR, ahigao, corruption, anal, vaginal sex, cream pie, groping, blowjob, swallowing, condoms, ugly bastard, breast job, toys, filmed, humiliation, dubcon, nipple piercings, masturbation, facial pregnancy. What are we doing? You know what, Gabe? I respect you. I respect you on this one. You're making 30% off of this, huh? By the way, it's fucked up. Where are the let people enjoy things when I start making fun of hentai games on Steam? When I'm making fun of like a cozy Stardew Valley but worse game, everybody's like, it's fun, it's cozy, it's my comfort game. I start making fun of goon material, people are like, yeah, get him! You fucking hypocrites. There's a difference. Not to me. Gooning is shameful? I don't know. I mean, like, it is in a way. I mean, we're getting a little too philosophical here. It is and it isn't, I think. I kind of think it's more shameful to watch reruns of Scrubs for 10 years straight than to jerk off too much. But I'm not trying to like sway public opinion. I'm just giving you my opinion. I'm just one person. I maybe have an outsized influence as a result of my platform, but I've never let that bother me. Gooning's not shameful, but being a gooner is. You know what? Maybe there's something to that. Coming 4 times a day, not shameful. Making that a core element of your personality, shameful. Sure, yeah. Morally decroded, absolutely. All right, I could live with you on that one. Librarian, thanks for the gifted subscriptions. Thank you. Why 20? Yo, why are you pocket watching? That being said, Librarian, you should save your money. I may not be funny forever. It's crazy though, like the more like mundane and suburban and domestic my life becomes, I think like the more the demon inside of me wants to act out on stream. So it's almost, they're moving in like opposite directions, which I think is actually positive. I think, but look at the tweets popping off. Dude, Twitter is so much better when all I do is tweet that I'm going to be late. And then, like, when I load up Twitter, it's people that are, like, pogging up over something I said when I played the game of Sisyphus. Yo, bro, fuck Ballacho, we should play the game of Sisyphus. I never finished it. We're so back. Last played April 23rd. Holy. Sheesh. We're back with Sisyphus. I haven't played this game since April 23rd. But honestly, I was looking for something to play today, and always a little bit of a mark of personal shame that I never finished this one. And you know what? What's more Sisyphusian than, like, hidden new game? Yeah, what do I care? Lose 7 hours of progress immediately? Probably take the regular boulder. Oh, you know what, though? I think I've earned myself at least an iron boulder. I'd spend 500 gold on that and then start it up. I will say some of those Sisyphus clips were popping off on Twitter this weekend. And listen, I don't mean this to be rude, but occasionally I do get a little condescended to by people that are like 14 years younger than me. And I'm like, listen, you've literally been an adult for like 36 months. And like you think you know how the world works? No disrespect. Somebody said, I've been watching these NL clips. Do you think he ever read Camus or he just derived his philosophy organically? Well, the answer is both, motherfucker. Okay? I've read Camus. I did not understand it at all. Just kind of thought it was a straight up story about a dude who was like a little bit dissociated because his mom died yesterday. Or was it the day before that? He can't remember. And I was kind of like, honestly, it's a little bit boring. I would rather read Halo: The Fall of Reach. As far as I'm concerned, we derived the emotions of Sisyphus from first principles, which is that if your whole life is just a rock and a hill, you might be like, that's torture. But the real torture is if somebody takes the rock away or if somebody levels the hill. In which case you're like, what the fuck am I doing here? My life has lost all meaning. Okay, don't poke me. I'm not your lab partner in Biol 102, okay? Facebook 2007. Does Facebook still have poking? I honestly don't know. Were you poking people? I got into the occasional poke war. You would get in like a poke war with like, you know, somebody who lived on your floor in the dorms in university. And you'd be like, this is fun. And then like some dude who you added to Facebook in a more naive time because you were like 5th grade classmates 10 years ago would poke you. And then you'd be like, okay, whatever, I'll poke you back. Then he would poke you again. And you'd be like, we're not doing that. We don't have that kind of camaraderie. I'm not getting in a poke war with like somebody I haven't seen in 10 years, okay? We don't know each other like that. Then he hits you up drunk on Facebook Messenger at 3 a.m. and is like, we had some good times back in 5th grade, huh? And you're like, no, the fuck we didn't, dude. We were just doing multiplication times tables. He's getting like all nostalgic over like middle school and shit. And you're like, we're fucking 19 years old, bro. This is the time that we're supposed to be nostalgic for later in life. We're not supposed to be like, oh, remember when we had our fucking baby teeth? That's crazy. And then you just delete your Facebook after that. For me, I think it was the Cambridge Analytica stuff. I was like, I'm not really using this website anyway. It's become much more like, you know, kind of combative, and all the grandmas and, you know, conspiracy theorists got on it and started like spreading stuff. And then there was the Cambridge Analytica stuff. And I'm like, I shouldn't be here anymore. The AI shit on it now is funny. I do see that on Twitter occasionally, where it'll be like an AI generated image of like an army veteran with no limbs holding a sign that says like, it's my birthday, all I want is for you to like this picture. And then it has like, you know, 7.3 million likes or something like that from people who believe it's real. And you're like, oh no. Yeah, why don't images like this trend? And it's like a 3-year-old kid who's built a sandcastle as tall as a literal skyscraper. People are like, whoa, he's really talented. You're like, yeah, so true. Oh, man. I did see the one that was like, why don't images like this trend? And it was a truck that was like 7 miles long, just holding American flags. That is a great image. And you're like, that shit would be a fucking menace on the road, bro. You're like, I'm trying to get in the HOV lane, man. Your truck is like 7 exits long. You wouldn't download a book. Listen, my pirating days are well behind me. Pirating a book is crazy, though. Because, like, there's not even, like, you get the post-pirate remorse, like, instantly. If you were to download a movie or something like that, back in the day, that could take you, like, half an hour, 60 minutes or something like that. You know, if you decided that you didn't want to, like, rip $3 out of Sam Mendes's pocket, you could always bail out. But a book is like, you know, 1.2 megabytes. So as soon as you click the button, it's like you yoinked them immediately, man. Even college course books. I will say that's not my era. I'm a little older. I was right at the genesis of the music piracy era, and caught a little bit of the movie piracy era, but I don't think there was that much book piracy outside of like the library in 06 to 2010. You would just take your friend's textbook and then go to like the student union and photocopy the entire textbook at like 10 cents a page. In that way, like the textbook that normally costs like $100 only costs you like $340. Acoustic piracy. No! Whoa, hang on. Trusted chatter, your anecdote has been purged. It said, I was at the airport, saw a guy reading a book on his phone. And I didn't see anything beyond that, which is, it could be anything, man. What happened after that? Is everybody okay? He had taken a picture of every page. That's fucking crazy, man. That's insane. He had taken a picture of every page. I can't stop thinking about it. You know what? You gotta respect it though, because that, and I mean that sincerely. That's like a one-of-a-kind guy. Like, that's a guy that he decided to solve his own problem instead of Googling and living on the shoulders of giants, right? He said, oh, I want to read a book while I'm on the airplane, but I don't want to bring my book. Sure, I could get a Kindle and then have it on that, or I could get, Kindle app on my phone or something like that, or I guess I could just bring a backpack and put the book in there. He said, nah, bro. It's like whenever people do the computer science 101 exercise that's like, write an application that can tell whether a number is even or odd, and then you look at the code and it's like a switch statement that's like, case 1 odd, case 2 even, case 3 odd, case 4 even. You're like, they did do it, kind of. Probably not up till like integer 32.max value or whatever, but they did. That's local thunk. Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, is it a bad way to do it? Yeah, but like, if it works, who cares, man? It's their time. Why are you clock watching? It's like that. I like local thunk ate it a little bit. All the bank programmers who are like, if I made a game, I would never program it like this. This guy doesn't deserve all the money he made for making Game of the Year. His code it's got too much coupling and not enough cohesion. This would never pass ISO 9001 certification. The same thing with like Celeste published their source code, and all the people who have done like, Unity tutorials are like, what the fuck? The whole thing is just programmed in the game function? Like, or sorry, the game method? Yeah, but it's goated, dude. They did it. You're nothing. I walked Bennett Foddy up on stage at the NYU Tisch School of the Arts. I'm trained classically and object-orientedly. Who the fuck are you? In a way, I also kind of respect it more. Well, not more. Doing things the right way is probably the right way to do things. But I think it's cool if you're like a solo dev or you're on like a very small team to be like, well, I want to do this thing, but doing it the right way is going to require me to learn how to do it the right way, which is going to be like a big time investment. Whereas I could just like do it the wrong way and finish it and still come out ahead. And then like, as long as you're not dealing with people's sensitive information, you're you're probably okay. How you do one thing is how you do everything. I think that would be cool if I believed that. But I really I half-ass a lot of stuff, but I also put a lot of care into the things I care about. So I disagree with the statement, but I also understand you can use a statement that's a lie like that to give you the motivation to do something you don't want to do. So it's a very powerful mantra you've expressed there. You got me thinking though, because I was thinking about this. I think my wife and I have a good breakdown of our chore work right now. Now, me being the one that is saying that maybe means that she would disagree. You'd have to ask her. But I feel like what you might ask specifically, what's the breakdown? The breakdown is if I'm not doing anything else, I fucking tidy up. And if she's not doing anything else, she tidies up. Sometimes I got 15 minutes of free time. I'm like, what am I going to do? I go out to the kitchen. There's some dishes. I do the dishes. I see some dirt on the floor. I'm like, I'm going to, vacuum or something. As a result, the place, between the two of us, it stays tidy. But I was thinking, like, in the more discreet sort of like chore trading that people tend to do, especially when they're younger. Whoever came up with the workload where like one person cooks and one person does the dishes was definitely the motherfucker doing the cooking. That's all I'm going to say. Any other dish Andes out here? Says, you're cooking, you're like, we're going to have spaghetti tonight. And all of a sudden, okay, there's a pot, you fill it with water, you put the pasta in there, you get you cook the meat for the sauce and the vegetables for the sauce, then you pour the sauce in the pan, and then you move the noodles to the sauce, but you use the pasta scooper to stir the pasta, the one with the little tongs coming out of it, and then you got a wooden spoon or a spatula you're using for the sauce, and then you put it all out on platters, and everybody gets a fork and a spoon, and then all of it, there's tongs involved to get the noodles onto the plate, and all of a sudden it's like, well, spaghetti's so easy to cook, it only took me 15 minutes, and I'm looking at I'm like, why are there 22 utensils in the sink? Now, just to be clear, this is not a dig at my wife. It was a dig at myself, because I cooked my child pasta yesterday, and I was like, why the fuck are there 22 utensils in the sink? So then I just did the dishes. But I will say, the reason, and this is just my take, the reason that I cook, you do the dishes is not a fair distinction, is because cooking, as far as quote unquote chores go, is that's a 9 out of 10. It's satisfying, it's enjoyable, you feel like a mad scientist, you get to sample the food. And dishes are they're a 5 out of 10. It's not the worst chore in the world. You're not cleaning up diarrhea or anything, but cooking also takes 20 times longer. Yeah, but you're not doing anything for 19.5 of that 20x. It's the stove is doing it. And then you're every once in a while, I got to toss some shit in. It's not that hard. And then you walk over to the pan and you look at it, and then you turn the stove from 4 heat to 3 heat. And you're yeah, that'll do it. Yeah. Sorry. No, that's your problem. You had it on 4. You have to have it on 3.7. A bunch of 22-year-olds in the chat who have seen 50 J. Kenji Lopez alt videos. All of a sudden, they think they're Heston Blumenthal. Oh, let me guess. You've never made a reverse-seared, homemade kimchi-marinated pork chop served on arboreal rice? Well, okay, you might have me on that one, to be honest with you, but you wouldn't catch me making my own kimchi. We don't have the dishes, and to be honest with you, it doesn't get that cold in the wintertime, so I'm not burying that shit in the front yard. What were you doing at 22? Teaching 6-year-old South Korean kids how to say, I'm fine, thank you, and you? Oh, sorry, what I meant to say was nurturing the education of the world's youth. Are you a plate salad guy or a bowl salad guy? It's one of those things that I personally, for the average salad, I feel like it's been solved. It's bowl with a plate with a lip, like a platter. A bowl, I feel, always concentrates the salad dressing at the bottom, which is not ideal. So a shallow bowl or a deep plate is the salad vessel of choice, I think. You know what's pissing me off too? Listen. I'm putting the system on trial today. We're solving a lot of mundane problems. You order a salad for delivery, okay? At first, I was like, this is sick. It comes in a bowl, a biodegradable cardboard bowl with the food in it, dressing on the side. You put the dressing on top. You put the you put the lid on the bowl, and you get to shake it. You're like, that's fun, right? No problem. But why the fuck they got the salad filled up to the brim? You pour the dressing on top of it. You put the lid on. You shake it. The shit is packed in so tight, nothing's moving. It's always too full. So now I put the dressing on. I shake it, and then all of a sudden I open it up, and there's still just a big puddle of dressing on top of one piece of spinach at the top. Complaining about too much food? Yeah, because I'm not American. The volume of the food has compromised the integrity of the food, man. Take it back. Low blow. Are you not American? You were taking shots first? No, they were taking shots first. They took shots at me as a human being. So I took shots at their perceived nationality, because Americans are one of the only nationalities you can make fun of without it being, construed as racism. And then they insulted my country, which is fucked up, bro. Americans, you can't make fun of anybody. Anybody can make fun of America, and Americans can't make fun of anybody. Because it's the punching up, punching down dynamic. I'm sorry. England can make fun of America, but America can't make fun of England, even though it's funny. Canada probably would be third there. I would say they're like right below England. Like we can make fun of England and America, but we can't make fun of Ireland or Scotland. Ireland's kind of chill though. I just feel bad because I always like get Irish artists and Scottish artists confused. Like, where is the lead singer of the Cranberries from? She must be from Scotland, right? She's from Ireland. Fuck. Linger was on the Peloton ride today, man. I was like, whoa, Scottish accent. Can you test what the bombs do? POV, you're Richard Feynman at Los Alamos, 1943. Open parentheses, he's in a strip club, close parentheses. Yes. Well, he was not jorking it, according to him at least. He just claimed that it was one of the places that helped him concentrate the most. They don't make motherfuckers like that anymore, man. There's no college professors that are marking your papers at the titty bar. It's probably good, but I wish there were still like, I don't know, like 8 motherfuckers like that in America. Because they're characters. You need characters like that, man. People are overall less degen. Yeah, I know. It's kind of like it's good, but it's kind of bad. I honestly believe Richard Feynman was not jerking off in the titty bar. I believe he was marking the papers. Because why would he lie in his own autobiography? He just wouldn't write the shit about being in the titty bar. I believe he was kind of like a freak. And that's why he's like, I'm just going to write about me marking the papers at the strip club. Now, I don't want to mark any papers at the strip club because I find the strip club a very awkward place to be. The 2 times in my life I've been to one. It's too loud. It's too everything, man. It's too... Can you talk about it? There's nothing really to talk about. People walk up on stage and like take off all their clothes to Kryptonite by 3 doors down. And then like, well, I don't know that. So I was at a strip club twice. Once was when I was 18 in Montreal. So we got like no attention from the dancers because they knew we were broke, which is valid. And then the other time was like my friend's 20th or 21st birthday. And he didn't even want to go. I think like nobody wanted to go to the strip club. Like maybe 1 or 2 of the dudes we were with are like, let's go to the strip club. It's your birthday. And even he was like, I don't really want to, but like, I guess. And then I just remember like at some point, a couple dancers came over and they were like, hey, it's your birthday. Let's do shots. So they bought a bunch of shots and then the strippers took all the shots on the platter themselves. There were like 8 shots of tequila for 4 people and the 2 of them just did all 8. I was like, that's fucking funny. But like, what are we doing here? Oh, man. It's just I feel like that's an industry that is going to die if it hasn't already died. We got much more introverted perverts, I think, in 2024 than existed in like 1984. You're so wrong? I don't know, man. Really? Is there like a strip club quarterly where I can look at how the figures are looking for the strip club industry? Like, are they in a what's the word I'm looking for? Are they in a downturn right now? Come to Miami, you'll change your mind. Yeah, but like, no disrespect, but that's like, Miami's kind of like Las Vegas, right? Like, I feel like, sure, I mean, if you choose to live in Miami, like, okay, I'm trying to avoid saying that it's a fake place because that's not true. There's lots of like real people living there. But like also the fakest people on the planet are like, I think I'm going to move to Miami, right? Be careful, you live in Vancouver. Yeah, but I'm not like the first guy. Well, DL Guig is the first guy to make fun of Vancouver. I'm the second guy to make fun of Vancouver. Most Vancouver criticisms are like stuff where I plus to it when they come from people who live here. The only time like I minus to it is when someone who doesn't live here like makes a joke about it and I'm like, you're working on like antiquated like Babylon Bee talking points or something. When people are like, you can't wear open-toed shoes because there's needles everywhere. I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind. You got to like leave your house, man. I've seen like 2 needles. It's not 0. But it's certainly, I mean, you know, You gotta pay attention. You can certainly wear sandals. Lots of people are out here wearing sandals. My girlfriend watched a video about Vancouver and now she thinks it's a hellscape. Yeah, I mean, listen, I understand people's curiosity, but I kind of find it like a little detestable. All the like poverty porn, like people go to Vancouver and then like you can just search it on YouTube. There's like 4K walking tour of the downtown east side, and I'm like, this is gross, man. You're at like you're treating it like a human zoo or something like that. Listen, the neighborhood is like not nice, obviously, and it's a little dangerous, especially if you're like a block of cheese. Like you're gonna get stolen, but like that's also just when you live in Vancouver, you're like that's just a no-go zone, unless maybe you're going to the Save on Meats deli to get some sick poutine or something like that. I'm trying to think of there's some good restaurants down there. But you're like, yeah, you don't go there. It's like the same thing, like, you know, if you live in Montana or something, you could just pull up like random GPS coordinates and you'd be like, what's around here? And they'd be like, grass, you know? Oh, do you go there? No, we go to the Costco, man. Every city's got no-go zones for different reasons. People talk about Chicago like it's Escape from Tarkov. How can it be dangerous if there's no guns? Well, listen, there's probably still some guns, and you could get stabbed. I'm just trying to keep it real with you. But, like, the worst I've ever had in Vancouver is I have been harassed, which is not necessarily unsafe, but it's like, it kind of sends a chill down your spine when you're, like, walking around Pacific Central Station, and then, like, some dude just starts screaming at you, and then you, like, look at him for a second because you're, like, raised to have conversations with people. You pull out one earbud and you're like, you talking to me? And then the guy's like, yeah. And then you just put your earbud in and then walk away. But sorry, brother, nothing on me. Caleb Pitts, you will die on August 6, 2023 when a stray bullet rips through your window and hits you in the neck. Sorry, brother, nothing on me. We did, like, this is probably 10 years ago. We were walking in the west end of Vancouver, and an obviously distressed gentleman just shouted, "It's earthquake time," at the top of his lungs, like insanely loud. And I always thought, like, imagine what it would do to him and everybody else around him if an earthquake hit, like, within 30 seconds of him saying that. I've gone to many, many parks and playgrounds in parts of Vancouver that, you know, people would probably, at least tourists would probably assume that it's like scary. And yeah, there have been a couple of times where I was like, we're not going to go to this park right now. Listen, I'm not saying it's all roses, okay? We got problems over here, but that was like a 1 in 25 type of deal. It's not a 1 in 1, you know, it's not a guarantee. Yes, if you're staying at like an Airbnb downtown and you leave your car unlocked, there will be no possessions left in it when you wake up. But that's just like common sense. You gotta lock that shit or park it in like an underground garage or something. What do you think the average IQ level of your chat is? I'm gonna be a different kind of beast and say 101. Why 101? Well, the average is 100, so let's start there. People below the median IQ measured intelligence are actually out there leading more interesting lives, and as a result are disproportionately underrepresented on Twitch. Don't get me wrong, there's a few dumb motherfuckers in chat. Sometimes you see them type and you're just like, oh man, you're not living in the real world. You're in a bit of fantasy land. But on average, yeah, I'd say we're probably like one point more than the average intelligence, of course, man. And yourself? I actually did an IQ test when I was a kid at iqtest.net, and my IQ was actually 201. And they wanted me to, like, I wanted to read more because they said I was the smartest person that has ever taken the test, even though I was just a little kid. But then they were like, $50 and we got to like get your address so we can send this like test package to your door and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't have a credit card. I'm 12 years old. So, but like maybe I should go back and do it because I think like the world needs to know. You know what's a feeling I haven't felt in a long time? And it like feel for you if you're at this age that you have to still deal with this. Not having a credit card, but wanting to buy something online. So you have to out your purchase to your mom so that she gets to be like the final arbiter of whether she's going to use her credit card to pay for this, even if you're going to pay her back with cash. Like sometimes you would just be like, you know, it's just like Xbox Live Gold for 1 year. I'll pay you back. I've got cash. Then sometimes you'd be like, oh, I want to get a book on Amazon and or an album or something like that. And then she's like, oh, what's this singer like? And you're like, Mom, it's Sufjan Stevens. He's kind of like the millennial Paul Simon, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. Then she like puts on like Casimir Pulaski Day or something like that. And you're like, oh, man. My mom telling me that the only Modest Mouse song she likes is Styrofoam Boots, but she doesn't like it when the snare drum kicks in. God love her. She's a nice lady, don't get me wrong. And we have some shared taste in music, but not 100% for sure. Me when I want to buy apps on the App Store where you drink a beer on your phone. Yeah. That's oomph. Yeah, man. Yeah. She's my oomph too. She's a nice lady, man. She's funny. And I mean, this is 20 years ago. I do remember one time, so we had a very, very small workout room in our house because my parents only had one kid. So you're like, what the fuck do you do with this extra room? So we put like a treadmill in there, or a stationary bike, and then like some free weights, like some 20-pound dumbbells. So I would work out in there in high school. And one time I left my Creative Zen jukebox in there. And I remember I got home from school and my mom was like, hey, I worked out today. So I listened to your MP3 player. Hope you don't mind. You got some interesting songs on there. And then I went into like recently played and she was listening to like the Mariner's Revenge song by the Decemberists and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, Mom thinks I'm a drama kid. No! She was probably like, my son is fucking weird, dude. He's fucking 16 years old. In the jaws of a giant whale. But then the priory took pity and hired me to keep his viscera nice and neat. She's probably like, what the fuck is this guy on? You should be listening to 1-2 Step right now. When are you going to talk some shit? I guess I haven't talked that much shit. You guys see Coney getting the shit beat out of him by adult Sonic fans all weekend? He really is God's strongest soldier. It was like a month and a half ago that he went in on adult Bluey viewers saying the things I wish I had the courage to say on Twitter. And then like now he's like, I forget what he said, but he was basically like, anybody who likes the Sonic adventure games is stupid. And then, listen, I don't disagree. I don't know if I would have said it like that, but it's like 3 days later. He's getting dragged, man. People don't play about their Sonic, which makes no sense to me at all. But like, I just know better than to touch that hornet's nest, I guess. We got like 33-year-old motherfuckers out there on Twitter who are named like Daryl the Hedgehog. You think I want that guy up in my mentions? No, live and let live, brother. You do you, I'll do me. We can coexist. We'll just stay far away from one another, okay? Now I'll be on the alt clicking the like button under all of Coney's tweets, but publicly I don't want the smoke. What does your Sonic OC look like? It looks exactly like me. But like a different color than Sonic. So he's like green because green's my favorite color. And then like for no reason, he has like an MS Paint Canadian flag behind him because this Sonic is Canadian. Or this hedgehog is Canadian. Sorry, he's not Sonic. Okay, just give me a minute here. I was not locked in. It's the same with new gen Weezer fans. That's just one. Listen. I mean, how old are new gen Weezer fans? They gotta be like 13 years old, right? Like I'm not gonna be arguing with them on Twitter. Like they're allowed to have their 21-year-old opinions. But like the Sonic the Hedgehog is crazy to me because I'm like, no disrespect, but Mario just cleared him. He left the corpse of Sonic the Hedgehog like dead and bloodied in an alley in like 1993. Now you might say, NL, you're only saying that because you're ass at the games, and I'll tell you that you are 100% right. I do not. Anytime I've ever played a Sonic game, I am like, why the fuck am I going so fast? I can't react in time to the shit in my environment. I need the game to be a little bit slower. I'm not saying Sonic should be slower. I'm just saying it's not for me. It's too fucking fast. It is my problem 100%. Sonic has done nothing wrong. They should make a game called, yes, fucking Park the Slug or something like that. I guess that's just Into the Breach. You go at your own pace. What movie changed you the most? 9th grade, Miracle of Life, health class. You remember where you were. Dumb and Dumber, 1994. 1965, the Zapruder film. That didn't just change my life. I think it changed everybody's life. We're still living kind of like in the reverberations of that. Saw Iron Man 1, 2, and 3 in theaters, man. I guess they all made like close to $1 billion. I guess it's not that rare. This is like a little rare, because like my life had changed a lot by the time Iron Man 3 came out, and I was still going to the theater to see the man in the suit. I was also a firm believer I've been wrong about a lot of stuff, man. There was definitely you know how when like a little kid goes to see a movie, it's always their favorite movie? Like the favorite movie, if you ask like a 5-year-old, is always like a sequel to some shitty comedy that came out like 2 months ago. So like right now, probably if you asked 100 5-year-olds best movie of all time, I'm telling you dead ass, they're going to say Inside Out 2. Enough of them saw it last weekend, clearly. Either way though, I was basically like that until I was like 25. I saw Iron Man 1 in theaters. I went, this is one of the best fucking movies I've ever seen in my life. Tony Stark built this in a cave out of scraps, okay? That's not like best movie of all time is kind of crazy, but Iron Man 1 is good. It broke new ground, right? I saw Iron Man 2 in theaters like 3 years later. People were like, how was it? I was like, it fucking blows the doors off Iron Man 1. It's everything Iron Man 1 wishes it could be. It innovates on the formula that they put down in the first movie. Before Infinity War came out, Kate and I watched all the Marvel stuff again, and I was like, Iron Man 2 fucking sucks, dude. It's not even close to as good as Iron Man 1. What the fuck was I thinking? I think I just like popcorn, man. I just like popcorn and soda. Like in the same way that like if you review a movie on Letterboxd, you should also have to post like your phone screen time from when you watch the movie. I'm not saying the review doesn't count, but if you're like Hereditary's mid, and then I look at your phone screen time and it's like you had 80 minutes of screen time in this 120-minute long movie, I'm not going to take you as seriously unless you agree with me. Same thing you should have to say in the review if you saw it at the theater and if you got popcorn. Because if you get popcorn, that's like a plus half star to any movie. You can't, it's classical conditioning, man. You're like, oh, this movie's kind of mid. Then you take a bite of like salty, buttery popcorn and your brain is like, that's good. And you look at the screen and you like reinforce. You're like, actually, this movie's kind of sick. This movie's kind of delicious. This movie's kind of like the best tasting movie I've ever seen in my fucking life, dude. This movie's really greasing up my fingers, yeah. Wait a minute, this movie has a hole in the bottom of it. There appears to be some kind of warm sausage sticking through the bottom of this movie. Appear to be wrapping my fingers around the movie and stroking it until some kind of warm liquid butter comes out. Hold up. What the hell, Pixar? This shit wasn't in the damn trailer. We were actually going to go see Inside Out 2 this weekend. Because, you know, it's a kid's movie, no disrespect. And my daughter's a child. We thought maybe this would be the first time we could take her to the movie theater. We were like, on Friday, we were like, do you want to see it tomorrow? And she's like, no, I don't want to see movies that I've never seen before. Which is a bit of a catch-22, obviously. And I said, okay, maybe we'll try tomorrow. And then we're like, okay, we're going to go see the movie. And then she started like freaking out. She was like, I don't want to go see the movie. It's scary. Kate and I were like, it's not scary. It's Inside Out 2. It might make you, it'll emotionally manipulate you. There's probably going to be like a moment or two where you're going to cry or whatever, but like, it's not scary. And then she's like, no, I don't want to go. I'm like, okay. Maybe age 4 is when we'll take her to the movie theater for the first time. When does Dune Eternal come out? Sorry, Dune Messiah. I'm pretty sure Doom Eternal came out a couple of years ago. Also not suitable for children. And she was also telling me that she'd seen Inside Out too. And at first I was like, what are you talking about? And then I realized that there was a time where, like, on her iPad, she would watch the Inside Out trailer, which is like 3 seconds of dialogue, and it's set to Boston's More Than a Feeling. And I was like, you haven't seen the movie, you've only seen the trailer. I mean, I think, honestly, ruining a movie and getting it out of your system is a rite of passage. I probably ruined The Addams Family for some motherfuckers when that was the first movie I saw in theaters. And then the disembodied hand starts running right at the screen. That shit's spooky, man. I don't know why the first movie I saw in theaters was the fucking Addams Family. They're creepy and they're kooky. They're fucking sneaky and they're spooky. Yeah, but Gomez and Morticia actually model a really healthy marriage. Brother, you are 34 years old. I was 3.5. They were putting fucking frog's eyes in the stew. That shit was bubbling, man. They put Uncle Fester in the fucking electric chair. Okay? I didn't have a good grasp on what was real and what was fake when I saw that shit. Now, is it good? Yeah, it's a good movie. I even like it more than Addams Family Values. I think that's a lot of nostalgia talking. But yeah, you gotta, like, listen, don't take your 3-year-old to see, like, The Irishman or something. That's crazy. Don't even take your 23-year-old to see The Irishman. Saw the first Ghostbusters when I was 3. Listen, I'll just tell you straight up. There's a long list of movies that gave me nightmares as a kid. Ghostbusters 1 was not amongst them. Ghostbusters 2 was amongst them, though, for sure. I was worried that Vigo was real and he was going to turn the Cataraqui River into pink slime. What about the scene where he gets blown by a ghost? When you're a kid, you don't fucking get it. You know, you're like, they're probably just tickling each other down there or something. Which is actually like, I mean, it kind of is what it is, I suppose. But like, a little different. There is a difference for sure. The Mummy? I didn't get freaked out by The Mummy, but it is a common one. The scarabs under the skin. Yeah. I hear you on that one. I guess I'm blessed that for whatever. I must have been like a little bit older at least. Pee-wee's Adventure. Yeah, Large Marge. If you're up around my age, it's a little spooky. Independence Day fucked me up. Starship Troop. Anything with aliens fucked me up a little bit. Like, you know, this is how you know fears are like not really that rational, or are they the most rational thing on the planet? I wasn't really scared of like monsters, but I was concerned that like aliens were gonna invade my fucking like rural ass Canadian town. Like anytime I heard a noise outside when I was a kid, I would be like, that's the UFO landing to come and fucking vaporize us. I'm trying to think of like what. It must have been so hard for my parents because we're going through the same thing with like my daughter. And she's like, I see monsters. And we're like, there's no monsters aren't real. And she's like, they are real. I've seen them. And I'm like, come on. This isn't r/no sleep, okay? But like imagine my parents are both trying to get to sleep so they can like get up at 6:02 a.m. and go to work for 10 hours. Then at 1 a.m., I'm like, Mom! I think I saw an alien outside my window. She's like, shut the fuck up, dude. She never said that. She was always like very tender and comforting. But like when she went back to bed and my dad was like, what is it this time? She probably was like, fucking aliens again. Our kid is an idiot. War of the Worlds was scary. Are you 100 years old or like 27? I saw it in my... it was my senior year of high school, so I recognized at that point that it was fiction. I can't put myself in the shoes of a child or an adolescent aside. So, but it's like, you know, relatively mundane shit will fuck you up when you're like a little kid. I lost a lot of sleep over Gary Oldman transforming into a weird alien spider at the end of that shitty Lost in Space movie. That movie was not worth losing sleep over for sure. Mars Attacks, yeah, Mars Attacks freaked me out for sure. I don't know why I kept watching all these alien movies, man. Jumanji? A little bit. For the one in Jumanji that would get me as a kid is when the kid turns into like a spider monkey. I wasn't even scared of like the rhino stampede. It was just like, Mom, what if I open a board game and it turns me into a fucking monkey? E.T.? Bro, E.T. is scary. The scary thing is not the alien, though. The scary thing is the fucking us. It really makes you think. When the dudes in the hazmat suits take Elliot and E.T. into the plastic tubing and stuff, when they beat him to death with hammers. Yeah, exactly. I saw Seven when I was like 8 and it fucked me up. That's just, listen, either you did that to yourself or that's horrendous parenting. That one should, like, that could cause nightmares in an adult. No 8-year-old kid should be seeing Seven. I'm resisting trying to make like a numerological joke. What's crazy though is like when you're a kid, you feel so comforted that there's like adults around. Like, I don't care if a fucking 7-foot-tall alien walks past my birthday party. At least my dad and my uncle are there. Now I'm in the position of being like the dad and the uncle. And I'm like, if an alien walks by this birthday party, what the fuck do they want me to do, man? Take a photo of it? Like, I'm not gonna, I got no recourse. Me and my brother-in-law are gonna run down this alien and like kill him or something. Like, come on. I'm going to be like, oh, fuck. I'm going to be freaking out too. It's going to put me in, Act 1 of 2001 A Space Odyssey mode. What I'm saying is if you were a child, you should not really feel comforted in the event of a supernatural apocalypse if there's adults nearby. Because we will not be able to do anything, to be honest with you. I'm sorry if you're watching this and you're like 8 and you're like, my dad would just save me from the alien. He would probably try. But those motherfuckers have faster than light travel. Like, we're working at a serious disadvantage if you look at the tail of the tape. I would do my best. Because, like, if something happens and they end up allergic to water, I don't want to be the guy who's like, yeah, I kind of, like, ditched my family, and now the aliens are all gone. Whoopsie, right? Like, that's like a force majeure type situation. So, like, it's just one, I'm sorry to say it, it's kind of like, I guess it's heteronormative, but as a man, as a father, you kind of got to sack the body on that one. Otherwise, you're going to be shunned in the event of the apocalypse reversing. But like, yeah, the same thing, when I was like a kid, I'd be scared to go on like a train ride or something like that. I'd be like, what if the train derails? And I'd be like, don't worry, grandpa's here. Train can't derail when your grandpa's here. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on with railroad infrastructure. He's like 72 years old. He's probably going to be more fucked up than me if this bitch comes uncoupled. I'm going to be dragging his ass out through the window. You're on your own, man. Like, no disrespect to my mom, but what the fuck is my mom going to do if there's an alien invasion? She's going to like hug me while they hit us with the fucking heat ray. If we're lucky. We get instantly vaporized and not like taken up to the UFO in a fucking traction beam and a tractor beam and experimented on or kept in some kind of fucked up Kurt Vonnegut zoo or something like that. We're going down. She just doesn't have the capabilities. She doesn't have the move set to stop the aliens from getting us, man. But when I was 7, she was the vanguard. She was Earth's vanguard. What about your dad? He'd be beating those fuckers up with the Canadian Tire hockey stick for sure. He could probably take out 3 or 4 before they probe his anus or whatever they do. What are the aliens doing these days? They do love to probe the... And I think that we give the aliens too much shit for probing the anus. We only have so many orifices, bro. And we got a lot of shit to take data on and measurements. It's really, if you're trying to get some measurements of what's going on inside the human body, there's only 2 entrances, man. You're going through the mouth or you're going through the anus. Even the doctors are only going through the mouth and the anus when they got to look at some shit in there. What do you expect the aliens to do? There's other orifices? Yeah, but like, I don't know how familiar you are with human anatomy, but they don't all lead places. Some of them are like dead ends. No, they're not. Yes, they are, man. Yes, they are. No, they're not. Yes, they are, man. There's some cul-de-sacs up in there. Name one? I don't want to because you're going to be gross about it. Noses go to the same place? I wasn't talking about the nose, big dog. Why does a suppository have to go through the anus? Hey, I got an honest question for you. I've had, like, my body's been fucked up from time to time. I've never even seen a suppository. Did they just stop making them for, like, mundane stuff? Because people were like, yeah, I'm not going to do that? Like, I think that's valid. Like, I think, you know, I think if you work in the pharmaceutical industry, if you see the opportunity to turn, like, an anal suppository into, like, a little pill that you could take a couple times a day, that's probably good for society. I don't know what you use a suppository for. I mean, fecal transplant, I'm sure. I always wonder with the fecal transplant, are they just like pulling a log out of the freezer or something and then putting it in there? Why the freezer? Because it's gotta stay together, man. You don't want that shit to like start disintegrating on insertion. You need it to have structural integrity. Like even the most solid logs at room temperature, they're gonna smear. Okay, that's why you need to. I don't know. You gotta either freeze it or like carbonize it or something. I get it. Like if you can't take a pill, if you're like a baby or something, then you need a suppository. But I don't even think I've ever been at the pharmacy and seen like I've never been to like the suppository section. Maybe they're all prescription because they can't trust like just the average person to read the back of the box and do it right. Anti-nausea so you don't throw it up. I always thought that it gave you nausea because of the effect of the drug. Well, no, that makes sense. But when you throw it up, it's not in your stomach. Okay, that makes more sense. I know a lot about the human body. Compliance is a big thing with suppositories. Open parentheses, I am a pharmacist. That makes sense. I mean, if I got a course of antibiotics and they were for anal insertion, as soon as the symptoms stop, I'm probably not finishing the course of antibiotics, or maybe I'm going back for seconds. I guess I'd have to think. I've never done it, so I wouldn't know. Maybe at the world's most ashamed, anal curious straight man. Yeah, I don't know, doc. Yeah, it's still pretty bad. I'm gonna need another fucking. What's the antibiotic called? I think I'm going to need another set of those moxicillin. No. The suppositories are pretty good. Yeah, because they make me quite nauseous. NL, I'm Polly. I heard you had questions. Okay, well, like it was... Can I just lampshade this first by saying that everybody I played Lethal Company with is a coward? They're so afraid to talk about issues relating to human sexuality. And I get it because they're sensitive. But like, if you have the right opinions about them and a sense of curiosity, you don't have to be ashamed. Like, you might accidentally say something wrong, but if you explain that it's coming from a place of curiosity instead of like a place of judgment, then we could all learn something, right? Anyway, so I was asking, there must be situations in like a throuple where like two of the partners are really into each other, and then the third person's just like sort of there, right? And then they were like, so what? And I was like, well, that's gotta suck for them. But then people in my Discord were like, yeah, it happens sometimes, but then that person just like communicates or leaves. And I was like, oh, so it's the same as like in a normal, sorry, I shouldn't see, they were right. It's the same as in a more conventional arrangement. I feel like, and again, this is coming from a place of curiosity, not a place of judgment. I just feel like that would suck ass if you were like the other two members of the throuple, like fucking Crassus and Caesar are going at it nonstop, and I'm Pompey over here. I just want like a little crumb of love or something like that, but they're too busy like fucking going crazy on each other. And you're like, come on, man. It's supposed to be a throuple, man. What's going on? challengers, but you're Zendaya. Wait a minute. I think I got to see this movie. I thought it was like I thought that the vibe was a little different. Stop pronouncing it throuple. I'm pronouncing it the way that it looks like it should be pronounced. Is it throuple? That doesn't sound right. That sounds like it should have two P's. Couple, thruple. Thruple. It doesn't look like that though. It should lose the O. It sounds better. Thruple. Thruple? Needs two P's. They got to work on that. Again, this is coming from a place of curiosity. I'm not making, Jay Leno style jokes about Monica Lewinsky or whatever, okay? It's not bad faith. What is it called if there's four? A quadruple? A quuple? That's now a polycule. Okay, but why is it a rectangle square situation? Thruples are in a polycule, but not all polycules are thruples. Yes, you've got it. See, we're learning. We're breaking barriers here. We're learning something. This is not anti-poly at all. Admittedly, I'm just sort of, I guess, ignorant of the lifestyle. But I think back to like when I watched that fucked up documentary on polygamy, and like you start watching it and you're like, you feel bad for the wives because you're like, obviously this is like a system that is horrible for women. They're kind of raised in it, so they think it's normal and noble or whatever. But there's a little bit of like brainwashing going on. But then like I watched enough that I started to feel bad for the husbands too. And I was like, this motherfucker's got to keep like 12 wives happy. I'm sure that shit is exhausting. And that's kind of how I feel like about the concept of like a throuple. It's like I'm having enough trouble, just with one individual. We don't need to throw in like another dice roll. It just seems like I forget stuff as is, man. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm like, you must be like a true believer because it's a lot of work. You wouldn't keep doing it if it wasn't doing something for you. But I do feel bad for the person on the bottom of the totem pole. But maybe they don't always have. Maybe it's like it's Valve. It's a flat organization, and there's like no bosses or whatever. It's not judgmental, and you might say it's not judgmental, and that's based, but actually it's like the opposite. It's not judgmental because I just don't care. It's more like it's curious, but like you could tell me something insane, and I would be like, go get it, live your life. Because it's none of my business. You ever have that situation where you got two dates on the same night at restaurants that are like across the street from each other? So you gotta like go to one restaurant and then like change, like pull the napkin out of your collar and then like run across the street to the other restaurant. And then she's like, sure, we've sure been going to the bathroom a lot lately. All the time. You order like steak at the one restaurant. The other restaurant is a steakhouse, but you're like, oh, I can't have two steaks. So then you like order the fish, and she's like, fish at a steakhouse, and you're like, you don't get it, man. You don't fucking get it. I think like it's more interesting to ask questions about what I would describe as these more novel, like modern lifestyles, because like there's not much to talk about when it comes to like the philosophy of like a heterosexual marriage. I think like stand-up comedians figured it out in the 1980s. It's well-trodden territory, and now we must lock in. I was glancing at chat for 5 straight seconds. Yep, still doing it. Still okay. We're gonna pay attention. We're gonna walk straight ahead. It's just like an Isaac episode in 2014. You can't rely on chat to give you anything to talk about. You gotta farm base takes. You know what it was like back in the days of based by correspondence, man? You'd come out with like a hot take in an Isaac episode. This shit wouldn't be posted until like 3 weeks from now. People would be shadowboxing you in the comments. You're like, brother, I'm not the same guy who uploaded the video. Like the man who uploaded it and the man who recorded it are two different men. The man that you're arguing with does not exist any longer. He's changed. Your words are falling on deaf ears. That's the most locked in anyone's ever been. Oh! Me at my murder trial. Your Honor, I didn't do that shit because I am a different person now. Yes, the individual, the collection of organs bearing my name committed the act. But I'm not a murderer. That guy was a murderer. New sovereign citizen technique just dropped. You guys are laughing now, but I'm the one who's going to be laughing when the income tax gets replaced with tariffs on all goods, and my bunch of bananas that now cost me $1.12 is going to cost me like $35. I'm going to be laughing all the way to the bank. Oh, man. Did you know you're not allowed to bring apples from West Washington into East Washington? I did not know that. I'm inclined to say that that's one of those things that actually like preserves our local ecosystems rather than just sounding like the dumbest rule of all time. It does seem impossible to enforce, though. It reminds me of like, you know, what this is back when I was a good little soldier and I answered all the questions too honestly. Listen, again, I don't know how neurodivergent I am. There's certainly something divergent about my neuron. One of the things about it is that I think a lot of people are going to relate to this to the point where I almost don't even want to say it. But when people ask me a question, I tell them the answer instead of reading between the lines and telling them the answer that I want, that they want to hear. So like one of the first times that Kate and I crossed the border, I remember like the border guard was like, "Are you bringing any meat into the country?" And I was like, "I have a sausage McMuffin from McDonald's in this bag up here." And then he looked at me like I was trolling him or something. And I was like, "What do you want from me, man? You asked me if I had any meat. I got a sausage patty right here. If you only meant like raw, uncooked meats or something like that, then like you should say, are you bringing in any fucking raw meat from a farm? Because this is meat. The sausage is meat. I don't know what to tell you." Like, I don't want to get Johnny Depped in Australia. Got to make the fucking video apology or something like that, where I'm like, "Yeah, I tried to smuggle a sausage McMuffin into the country sausage McMuffins were invented in. I didn't know that wasn't okay." And then all the fucking cops in the comments are like, "You didn't know? This is like the first thing you learn at the day one of school is you can't, sausage McMuffins are made of meat. What did you think they were made of?" Instead, people are like, you know, "Oh my God, he answered the question honestly. Just say you've got no meat, man." I'm like, "What are you?" But I had meat. I had meat. So now you just lie. But what's fucked up is that everybody lies, but you can't tell them that you lie. You have to pretend that you're telling the truth, even though everybody knows that everybody's lying at least a little bit. Like, why are we doing this to each other? But I could feel it in the energy from the border guard. Like, when I said I had a sausage McMuffin up in the bag here, I could see in his eyes that he was like, "Bro, why didn't you just lie to me?" I'm like, "Sorry, I didn't know the rules." And they're like, "There are no rules. You have to derive the rules from either experience or from runtime." Like, I know I've said this before, and people, like, they take issue with it. But, like, whenever you go through the border and they ask you, like, "Do you have anything to declare?" I'm like, I don't know how to answer the question because I don't know what declaring fucking means. Because there's times when I've, like, bought stuff and then I'm like, we bought, like, $20 worth of groceries or something. And they're like, "Oh, that's nothing." And I'm like, am I not declaring it? Like, I don't understand. You only have to declare stuff over a certain amount of money that changes based on the amount of time you spend in the country? Or are you supposed to? I don't get it, man. I don't know the rules. That's why you're the one in the booth and I'm the one in the car. The border guards must get it, right? Like, if they ever pull you into secondary and you've got shit to declare, and they're like, "Why didn't you declare it?" Can you just look at them and be like, would you? That's smuggling? Oh, don't use the fucking biblical term. Legally, is it like a little bit of smuggling to take 24 Korean cans of tuna that can only be purchased in Washington State across the border and then drop them off at my mother-in-law's house because that's the brand of tuna she likes the most? Yeah, okay, legally it's probably smuggling. You know what else is smuggling? Buying shit on Play Asia and telling the person shipping it to write that it's a gift so you don't have to pay customs, you fucking hypocrite. Best part of my child not liking her lunch yesterday? I get to eat her lunch for lunch today. Ooh, 3/4 of a chicken and cheese quesadilla dipped in Father Ryan's fucking nothing oil. Also, my kid gaslit me. She made us look like bad parents. So she had a class in the morning on Sunday. Then we have like a little break. And then she has another class, okay? Like, not really like an activity. So we pick her up from the first class. We go out for lunch. We were at the restaurant for an hour and 15 minutes. Plenty of time to eat. We were like, you got to eat. She's like, I don't really like it. I think it's yucky. I'm like, it's not yucky. It's tortilla and cheese. You love it. She went to her next activity. We dropped her off, drove home. As soon as we get home, Kate got a phone call. And I could hear like through the speaker, it was like, hey, this is the teacher from like this activity. Your daughter is saying she's too hungry to do the activity. Like, did she eat? And we were like, yeah, she ate. We literally just came from a restaurant. And then they were like, okay, well, it's really like disrupting the activity. Is it okay if we give her a fruit to go? And I was like, yeah, it's fine. But like when I got there, I was kind of pissed off. I was like, why are you telling the teacher we're bad parents? We were literally just at a restaurant where you were eating. And even the teacher was giving me like not necessarily like an I think you're a bad dad look, but giving me a look of like, I didn't really want to deal with your kid today. Like, this is not daycare. This is like a real activity. And I just want to tell him, like, no disrespect. I really respect what you guys do here, but it is daycare. She's 3. None of this information is sticking. You might be stoking like the fires of inspiration that maybe could affect her life later and lead her to find a hobby, but she's 3.5 years old. Like, it's daycare. Mostly we're dropping her off at a place where she gets to like do an activity, but also like somebody's watching the door to make sure she doesn't run out into traffic and get hit by a car. But that's, I guess, when he like rolled his eyes, I should have been like, I know, right? You tell me. Instead, I was like, what do you say fuck me for? I should have tried to find a way to bring us together instead of immediately going on the defensive, I suppose. Yeah, we got to unite against our kid. There should be a parent union. I'm going to take advantage of as an employee of my daughter's business. Like, the hours are crazy. It's like almost a 24/7 job. And then also you're on call 24/7. Like, we should not be having any more 9 p.m. bedtimes. That's insanity. That should be like codified in the collective bargaining agreement. 7:45 pajamas, brush your teeth, 8 p.m. story time, 8:30 lights out. It's 9 p.m. We stepping out the damn bathtub. Like, can I help you? How is that her fault? Listen, okay? People are busy. Chib, are you going to play Once a Porn a Time too? It just came out. It's got mostly positive reviews on Steam. Do you want me to read the tags again? There's lots of stuff. Some of which you might be into, some of which might be a deal breaker. I don't know. Everybody's different. Oh, you already beat it. All right. +2. Sorry, I was looking at it on Steam. You know what I was thinking about, Chiblee? It's crazy the way life works out. I think if we were the same age, we wouldn't be friends. Like, if we went to school together, I don't think we'd be friends. I think I would resent you. Because I'm funny, but I have, like, the kind of humor that turns people away. And you're funny, but you have, like, the kind of humor that brings people together. So I think, like, in the high school lunchroom, I would have been like, yeah, he's funny, but he's not that funny. Why does he have, like, so many more friends than me? And then I'd be ripping into, like, you know, material inspired by Dennis Miller and shit as like age 15. And then people would just be like, that's pretty funny. And then Chib would be like, what, the tuna? Taco Wednesday? What in the tuna just happened here? And people would be like, that's the funniest shit I've ever heard. And I would be like, it's funny, but it's not that funny. It took me being mature, I think. A world where I was older and more mature and more willing to, accept my own strengths and weaknesses in order to... I'm saying it's hard to be your friend, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's hard to be your friend. But through a lot of practice and, mistakes and perseverance, we got there. We got there. Speaking of tuna, I'm going to a tinned fish party tonight. Least aristocratic Danish viewer be like, tinned fish party, huh? I gotta say, I love fish and I love tins. I've really only had one tinned fish, one type, and it's tuna. I've never had a tinned salmon or like a tinned herring or even a canned sardine as far as I know. I kind of get down with fish though. It's crazy too because I'm one of those guys, you don't see too many of us this modern day, but I'm also the fishier the better type of guy. Like the sushi pieces that sometimes people don't like because they say this one's a little too fishy for me? That's the stuff I get down with the most. Anyway, to enter into a fair contract with the caterpillar. Yeah, I got a couple Kendrick songs on the Peloton playlist. All Right, King Kunta. These Walls. That might be the only... Because I don't want to put... Listen, half the songs on it could easily go on the playlist, but you don't want the whole playlist to be like To Pimp a Butterfly. You just take the very creamiest of the cream off the top. What about Not Like Us? I don't want to be this guy. Okay, I don't want to make the Kendrick super fans angry, but I kind of don't like when he does the Kendrick voice. And he seems to do it a lot in that song. And also, I don't really care about Drake. I'm not invested in the beef. So I'm more of a To Pimp a Butterfly sort of guy. The voice is peak. It's just not my preferred Kendrick, okay? What's the voice? I can't do it, but you know the voice. There's listen, I don't know it. I don't know how to describe it. I don't mean this as bad as it sounds, but he has the voice where he sounds like himself, and then he has the voice where he kind of sounds like he's doing a Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys impression. He's one of the preeminent artists of our time. I'm just saying he has the voice. I'm not doing the voice. Reverend Mother Jessica dipped in the Fremen Seach's Water of Life oil. Would you do the voice to save someone's life? I did the voice once, and it's haunted me ever since. What do you think is bad about doing the voice? My impression of the voice will not be good. It'll be embarrassing to do. I'm getting that energy right now where the nerd in your class tells you something embarrassing, like he's been practicing the dance to Canned Heat by Jamiroquai all weekend, and then everybody else in the class starts pressuring him to do the dance because it'll be funny as fuck. But then the kid is like, I don't want to do the dance because you're all going to laugh at me. And then they all gaslight him into being like, no, bro, we just want to see the dance. We just want to see the dance. It'll be cool as shit to see you dance to Jamiroquai. And then they start doing it and everybody starts laughing. And you're like, oh, man, this is... this is awkward. Just say a lyric so we know you're cool. I've been on both sides of this Canned Heat interaction, okay? And they both feel bad. I'm recusing myself from the situation. You gonna come to my tinned fish party? Nah, it sounds like places to get your last known photograph taken at. But I'm sure you're like, it's cool or whatever. What are you talking about? Well, I don't know. Like eating a tin of fish is not that weird. Throwing a tinned fish party... Like, no disrespect, isn't that the shit that like millennials are doing to spice up their social lives when they decided that they're going to be child free? I've seen all those, like, you know, millennials are throwing parties where they have to give PowerPoint presentations, and I'm like, you can catch me at the indoor playground, man. I'm not showing up at the potluck and giving a 10-minute PowerPoint presentation about Twitch.tv. I'd rather do a lot of, I'd rather do the canned heat dance. They bang. I believe if you got the right crowd, it could bang. I don't want to do it though. You ever worry other daycare parents might see your content? I say this sincerely, and it took me a while to get here, but this is how I genuinely feel. I'm not doing anything wrong. Like, if you're a stand-up comedian or something like that, do you get embarrassed if like somebody that your daughter is friends with like watched your special? I mean, that's your job. That's what it's there for. It's like being a chef and being like, oh, what if Jenny's parents eat at my restaurant? You're the one who opened the doors, bro. That's good for business. Yeah, they'd probably feel embarrassed if I saw them at work, you know, like doing emergency surgery in the ICU or fucking sending emails and shit. They'd be like, why are you watching me, bro? What if you did OnlyFans? Well, I think that would be different for me, but I think that's a problem with me and maybe with society. Not a problem necessarily with the role. But if you like show your nude body online and you genuinely don't care if people recognize you, I think you're built different. Because like, I don't even like that my wife knows what I look like with my shirt off. That's like one of the most intimate secrets between the two of us. So like, to take that and multiply it by like 1 million strangers, that would take a while for me to wrap my head around, I think. You've exposed your breasts to your wife? Yeah, on occasion. Aren't you fit? Yeah, like I'm doing okay, but still like, I don't know. Other men in their 30s feel this way. Like, you know when you take off your shirt and like your nipples look like eyes and then your belly button looks like a mouth? So it kind of looks like your whole midsection is doing this. And you're like looking at your midsection in the mirror and you're like, who the fuck invited this guy? And he's just like, not really. You need to do drugs. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Maybe you got to add a couple percentages of body fat to understand that. I don't know. Yeah, but I'm like, who brought this guy? Aren't you like 3% body fat? Nah, I'm pretty sure that's like dangerous. To be honest. That seems bad. Losing weight seems fucked up anyway, because I've heard like, what was the main reason anyone would lose weight for? Make their dick look bigger. Okay, so I've heard like, you know, every 20 pounds you lose adds like a half an inch to your visible dick size or whatever. But like, is it worth it? Because like, I feel like if I lost 20 pounds, I'd be losing like at least a quarter inch off of my girth too. So I got to do some kind of like analysis. Can somebody do like a linear regression and tell me like what my optimal weight should be? There's no dick fat? What are you talking about? Bro, I've seen some fat dicks, okay? You're going to tell me there's no lipids stored there? That doesn't make sense. Next, you're going to tell me there's no bone in that motherfucker. Okay, why do they call it a boner then? Dr. Zayas? The other daycare parent that just tuned into the stream? Yeah, okay. But I don't know, I'm not embarrassed, like, because I'm not a narcissist, but I have a healthy level of self-confidence, not about the appearance of my midsection, but about the ideas that flow forth from my brain. If they're like, why were you talking about that shit? Why were you talking about fat being on the penis? I would be like, are you seeing the chat? People are laughing, man. They're having a good time. It's like asking a DJ why they're spinning all those records up there. Because you're pretending to be working, otherwise people will get mad at you for being on stage. What am I supposed to do? Just like not talk at all for the whole stream and then like tweet some fucked up alt-right shit on Twitter and then go live again to like 10,000 gift subs pouring in and people are like, we knew you were the GOAT. And I'm like, I don't even say anything, man. It would be a great April 1st idea though. Oh man. We're talking about real experience. I don't know why people won't talk about dicks, man. It's not weird. It's weird to think that a dick is... There are weird dicks, but dicks is a concept. It's weird to think that dicks are weird. When we all know the vaginas are like way weirder. Hang on. We're going to walk that back a little bit. We can't get... True, though. True. Oh, man. Balls are probably weirder, but it's like overdone. This is a little weird, okay? And some of you are going to like cringe physically when you hear this. But like, what does a testicle look like on the inside of the testicle? Because I really feel like if you were to like bisect one, it would be like ramen noodles in there. Kind of. It's like a little brain. That's crazy. Like, there's some skin on my body where like, I don't know... Or some parts of my body where I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on in there. Again, am I adding a little sauce to this? Yes, but I think we should be able to talk about human anatomy that we all interface with in one way or the other without being like little kids about it. Like, what the fuck is the head of your dick made out of, man? Because it doesn't appear naturally anywhere else on the body. It's like 20 times thicker than the skin that surrounds it. In a different color. Like, what the fuck were they cooking when they made that, man? That's like when you open a Lego set and it's like 99% the 2x4 bricks that you've seen, and then there's like one piece where you're like, what am I doing with this? You're like looking at the box like, where does this motherfucker go? They're poorly designed. First off, I'm not like other girls. I feel like it wasn't designed. I feel like it's evolution. I feel like it's an accident. Secondly, I feel like the dick is pretty good at doing what it's supposed to do, quote unquote, supposed to do from Mother Nature's perspective. Cum delivery system. Piss delivery system. Could it be better? Yeah, probably. Like, I think it'd be sick if you could control it like you could control like your finger or your tongue or something. That would open up like a lot of avenues. It's kind of like, I mean, you can do some work with it, but it's kind of like a blunt instrument, right? But like, I guess evolution just decided like that's not necessary. Which is fine, you know, you got to work with what you got. Imagine you could move your dick like a finger and you could scratch your balls with your dick. Why does that have the same energy as the Kevin Smith tweet? 20 years of marriage and we're still scratching our balls with our dicks. Oh, man. She pones my dick, balls, brown area. Oh, man. Is this game even fun? True fun comes from within. The fun exists within my brain. I'm a divine being. Life was whispered into me by two people that loved me. No game can either create nor destroy the dopamine that exists in my own cerebrum. I don't give the ones and zeros that much power. Librarian, you gonna watch some Wong Kar-wai films? You gonna watch In the Mood for Love, you son of a bitch? I'm workshopping the way to end the next clip. Life was whispered into me like Tony Lung whispered into the rock at the end of In the Mood for Love. Spoilers? I haven't seen it. I just read a lot of essays, man. Okay, give me a second here. Dude, can you imagine how good this would feel on your palms? This shit would be so fucking relaxing. Look. Oh, man. Yes, this would heal me. Yes. Get it twisted. Put your hand into the thing that the bowling balls come up through at the bowling alley. What could go wrong? Can I also tell you, I passed a huge husband test last night. My wife said, what do you want for dinner? I said, we got leftover samgyeopsal in the fridge. We could just have that. She said, let's have that tomorrow. Let's order in tonight, something like pizza. I appreciated that, first off. But I've been around the block a couple of times. I said I would be remiss if I didn't ask some follow-up questions. Then I said, what kind of pizza do you want? And I'm telling you sincerely, she said, any pizza's okay. I wouldn't even mind a weird pizza tonight. And I tried to ask some probing questions to figure out what a weird pizza is. But she was just like, like any pizza. But even a pizza that's like not a usual pizza would be okay. And she was not like open to getting any more specific. I went to the pizza place's website. I was like, not weird enough, too weird, back it up. I got a pizza that had grilled chicken and corn and a few other diced vegetables on it and like a non-tomato sauce. I was nervous, man. When she opened it up, she took a look and said, this is exactly what I wanted. Ooh. Find someone who can match your freak. It was just weird enough, but not too weird. Because as she was eating it, she was like, I could have even gone weirder than this. And I said, well, there was a butter chicken pizza, but I thought maybe that might be a little too weird for you. And she said, you know what? That would have been too weird for me. And I was like, I'm dialed in today, man. Chat GPT could never. It would have been like a pepperoni pizza with shit sauce or something like that. That's the kind of thing you can only get the nuance from a human being with 10 plus years of marriage experience. Not to mention 35 years of pizza training. The female challenge is the male's creativity and providing ability in the age-old courtship ritual. That's kind of true. Well, I don't know. It might have just... Sometimes a pizza is just a pizza. But it's kind of how I felt. Oh, man. Maybe the pizza was too weird because I didn't get a Discord message in reply that said, when I said, hi, are you ready to stream? So I'll send you over there. Enjoy your evenings. I'll see you tomorrow. Later.
Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby. And all the girlies say I'm pretty fly for a white guy. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, cinco, seis. It's kind of hard just to get along today. Our subject isn't cool, but he fakes it anyway. He may not have a clue and he may not have style, but everything he lacks, well, he makes up in denial. So don't debate, play us straight. Woo! He really doesn't get it anyway. Gonna play the field and keep it real. For way. So if you don't rate, just overcompensate. At least you can always go on Ricky Lake. Woo! The world needs wannabes. Oh, hey, do that brand new thing. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby. And all the girlies say I'm pretty fly. He needs some cool tunes, not just any will suffice. But they didn't have Ice Cube, so he bought Vanilla Ice. Now cruising in his Pinto, he sees homies as he pass. But if he looks twice, they're gonna kick his lily ass. So don't debate, the player straight. Woo! He really doesn't get it anyway. Gonna play the field and keep it real. For way. So if you don't rate, just overcompensate. At least you can always go on Ricky Lake. The world loves wannabes. Hey, do that brand new thing. Now he's getting a tattoo, yeah, he's getting ink done. He asked for a 13, but they drew a 31 cent phrase. Trying too hard, and he's not quite hip. But in his own mind, he's the dopest trip. Give it to me, baby. Boom, boom. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, cinco, seis. So don't debate, a player straight. He really doesn't get it anyway. Gonna play the field and keep it real. For way. Just say that you rate, just overcompensate. At least you can always go on Ricky Lake. The world needs wannabes and woo! The world loves wannabes and Let's get some more wannabes and hey, do that brand new thing.
Yay!
Yo, that was easy.
That was pretty good, man.